The WNBA is a unique market, right? It moves a little bit different. You take a bet, a limit play, even if the limit is 2 dimes on a side, you don't go from 11.5 to 12. You know what I mean? You got to go. Because if they bet you the second number, then you go, oh boy, now we have a decision that we really didn't think we got a big decision. Books love decisions.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Watch out for USA and Canada in 4 years. Like cricket's going to be a sport that's growing.
I made my first cricket bet last week or over the weekend. I was getting a team that was leading like 150 to 5 plus odds. I'm like, I'm up 150 points and I'm getting plus odds. Where do I sign? I love this cricket stuff. What are you kidding me?
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
Now joins that team in Sacramento with the Kings. Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, Devin Carter, who they drafted early, Keegan Murray as well. A Kings team, DRS, that has been a playoff contender.
Is it going to equate to a championship? Probably not. That's not the goal. Make your team better every offseason. The Kings definitely got better with that move here, Ben.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome to hour number 2, live right here on the early line on SportsGrid. It's a Thursday. He is Donnie Rightside. I am Ben Stevens. 2 more hours to go, featuring plenty of updates from round number 1. Already underway across the pond at Royal Troon in Scotland at the 152nd Open Championship. Since we last brought you an update, no change at the top of the leaderboard. Justin Thomas, whose opening round is already done, 3 under par, firing a 68, still stands alone up top. But the odds board has moved. JT, now the second best price alongside Xander Schauffele at 11 to 1. Still both of those golfers well behind Scotty Scheffler at plus 450. Scotty tees off in just over an hour for his opening round at the Open, 10:10 a.m. Eastern Time.
I'm very interested to see how Scotty Scheffler does do with this, because we know how dominant of a golfer he is, but it's more of, let me put that ball in the fairway, let me land it soft and shoot it high. I want to see how he adjusts, because if this is just one of those cyborg Scotty missions where he winds up 6 under par after round number 1, as if, what are you guys worried about out here? This is really easy. That's what I'm most interested in. But also, again, Tiger Woods in a golf tournament where we're not saying he can win this thing. I mean, we talked about it earlier this week, Ben, 300 to 1 to 250 to 1 to 220 to 1. We're not expecting him to win this. But the fact of the matter is, when guys are going low right off the bat, you're like, ooh, you know what? Usually it's a good thing for the field itself, but not for like the older, crafty guys, as we say. But if this is a messy golf course, he's that, like, he has so much golf knowledge in his brain of how to work that ball around and just hitting those Tiger stingers. You tell me right now, this golf tournament's going to be played where you don't have to hit driver. Tiger probably will be right in it, just placing that ball 250 yards right down the middle, running it up on the greens. He's a great putter, as we know. So there is now added interest on Tiger Woods in this golf tournament. If we can get windy, rainy conditions all the way through, he's probably going to be in this thing. Again, not to win it, but still be competitive round to round.
250 to 1 right now to win the Open Championship and be that champion golfer of the year, as he has 3 times in his career, but most recently back in 2006. Many have told you, Charlie Hume broke it down for you yesterday. He'll be here in our 3rd hour as well. That links golf could favor Tiger, not just because of the crafty style and his familiarity with it, but because it's flat. It's not hilly. There's not undulation like you see at many courses here in the States. And, of course, health has been the biggest component for Tiger since the car accident back in 2021. Just walking 18 holes is a battle. Can Tiger overcome that today? He tees off in just about half hour, 9:37 a.m. Eastern time here. JT in front, 3 under. Sam Hutsby, the 35-year-old from Portsmouth, England, had a moment in the sun, but a double bogey on the par 3 8th that Rory also doubled earlier on today. He was 3 under for a moment alongside JT, now falls to 1 under par. Still plenty of guys at 2 under, just 1 shot behind Justin Thomas at this moment. Speaking of Rory, he gets 1 back on his 13th hole of the day, but still 5 over par, and some other heavy hitters we expected to contend. Victor Hovland, Ludwig Oberg. Right now they are at 4 over par as well.
Yeah, so there's a lot of good guys that haven't golfed yet here, waiting to get into that first round. But that is a surprise because I think a lot of people had the eyes on Rory saying this should be the time, sharpened his golf game, played well in the Scottish Open. Now it's just, on your home course per se, get after it here. That's a tough scene because he had those expectations and he wants to win this thing once again, like more than anything at this point to break that streak. But I don't know how you're going to do it at this point. I mean, granted, it's not as if he's +5 Bennett and the leader's -7. It's like, you know what? Good night here. This is going to be a golf tournament that you might just have to hang around for a few days and let that feel come back to you while you play steady golf. We'll see if you can get it together because -4, -3 certainly would help as opposed to that, or excuse me, +3 and +4 as opposed to +5. Those could be big strokes here coming down the stretch.
The man known as Bob from Oban, Robert McIntyre, the native Scotsman who won last week at the Scottish Open, the first native from Scotland to win in 2.5 decades, 1 over par right now on the par 5, 16th. In contention, of course, at Royal Troon. He has had a great summer featuring 2 PGA Tour victories. Now to Donnie's favorite topic you could ever hope for, day 3 of 4 at SEC Media Days with the 4th and final on this Thursday in Dallas, Texas. Alabama at the mic yesterday. Nick Saban no longer the head coach in Tuscaloosa, but still a feature of SEC Media Days, working for ESPN, now like us, a talking head and a media member. And earlier in the week, Saban was asked about his prediction for the SEC championship game in Atlanta in early December. He said Georgia versus Texas, keeping the Crimson Tide out. So one of his former players, Tyler Booker, one of the best interior offensive linemen in all of the country, was asked about that. Here's what Booker had to say, the best quote so far from any of the media days. Quote, he's always said, don't let some guy who lives in his mom's basement determine how you feel. I'm not going to let a guy who plays golf all day determine how I feel. That from Tyler Booker. Again, one of the best offensive linemen at Alabama, and I think one of the best quotes we have seen so far.
That means Nick Saban's probably going to be a very good commentator on the air, where so many times we see, and all the way through, Ben, whether it's an ex-coach or an ex-player for that organization, they sit on a panel and give their objective opinion and always go with the same team that they coach and or played for. Case in point, you watch the All-Star game here. Take a look at David Ortiz. Love David Ortiz. He's hilarious. He's got a great personality. But when you ask him who's going to win the World Series, it's always Boston. I mean, stop the madness at this point. I love this here because it's been very easy for Saban to say, let me just play up to Alabama. Hey, Nick, what do you think? Well, yeah, it's Alabama. It's Alabama every year, and that's what we do here at this point. I love the objectivity here, which also makes Alabama's fan base a little bit angry. And also, Nick Saban is a master motivator. He loves Alabama. You know, him saying that Alabama won't be in the SEC championship game is going to motivate that head coach, that coaching staff, and those players here, basically saying like, oh, he thinks he left. We're not going to be a good, organization anymore over here on this side. I love what Nick Saban do because deep down, he probably knows Alabama has a good program, what he left and what they brought in here and what type of coach DeBoer can be. But the fact that he just won't give them their kudos to start the season, I love this, man. Good on Saban.
Some mind games, perhaps, being a media member, feeding into the rat poison so that Kalen DeBoer can take it and post it on the bulletin board for the Crimson Tide this year. Speaking of Kalen DeBoer, he was speaking at his first ever SEC Media Days. Here's what DeBoer had to say about filling the very large shoes that Nick Saban leaves behind in Tuscaloosa.
Just want to say, I know I haven't seen Coach around here, but I do want to first of all, congratulate Coach. I thought it was really cool winning the ESPY the other night, and got a chance to finally, it seemed like every time I got a chance to see the speech, it was just a little blurb. Got to see the whole thing, and just like always, there's something that we've always taken from those speeches, well-deserved with that honor. And then personally, and from, I think on behalf of everyone with Alabama football and the University of Alabama, we appreciate everything Coach has done to make this foundation strong to where we can continue to build on it, continue to help those that are supportive of our program proud, and just appreciate all those years and hard work that's been put into this.
A very strong foundation and 17 seasons at Alabama built by Nick Saban. 6 national championships, 7 SEC titles in the last decade. Here are the odds for Kalen DeBoer's first year at Tuscaloosa. 9.5 the win total. The under has the juice. The last time Alabama won under 10 regular season games back in 2010. That was year number 4 of the Saban era at Alabama.
Yeah, and it would be interesting to see post Nick Saban where you see that 9.5 number and say to yourself, I know they play in the SEC, but typically it's national championship or bust. We're almost in a wait-and-see mode on Alabama at this point right now. That's a coach that has a pedigree for getting that offense in motion. And Jalen Milroe over there, I'm interested to see what he does right out of the gate, Ben.
Oof. Big-time stuff. Kalen DeBoer, an absolute winner. He has coached 114 games as a head coach at various levels. He's won 106 of them. More from SEC Media Days next.
The WNBA is a unique market, right? It moves a little bit different. You take a bet, a limit play, even if the limit is 2 dimes on a side, you don't go from 11.5 to 12. You know what I mean? You got to go. Because if they bet you the second number, then you go, oh boy, now we have a decision that we really didn't think we got a big decision. Books love decisions.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Watch out for USA and Canada in 4 years. Cricket's going to be a sport that's growing.
I made my first cricket bet last week or over the weekend. I was getting a team that was leading like 150 to 5 plus odds. I'm like, I'm up 150 points and I'm getting plus odds. Where do I sign? I love this cricket stuff. What are you kidding me?
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
DeMar DeRozan now joins that team in Sacramento with the Kings. De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, Devin Carter, who they drafted early, Keegan Murray as well. A Kings team, DRS, that has been a playoff contender.
Is it going to equate to a championship? Probably not. That's not the goal. Make your team better every offseason. The Kings definitely got better with that move here, Ben.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Day number 3 of 4 yesterday in Dallas at SEC Media Days. Alabama at the mic with a new head coach in Kalen DeBoer, a new member of the Southeastern Conference, also on display on a Wednesday in the Lone Star State. They're very familiar with that state. That is the Texas Longhorns. Quinn Ewers was there yesterday. Arch Manning was not. Steve Sarkisian was there yesterday, of course, the head coach for Texas. A huge bump into year number 3 last year for the Longhorns, winning the Big 12, their first conference crown in the last 15 years, dating back to 2009, a spot in the college football playoff as well. I said at the beginning of last year, if Arch Manning plays legitimate minutes at the quarterback spot, that means things have gone haywire in Austin because Quinn Ewers, as high of a rated quarterback prospect as Arch, if not better, is a Heisman frontrunner and needs to command that offense. Donnie, I say the same thing for Texas this year, despite what Sark alluded to yesterday. Asked about his quarterback room in Austin, here's what Steve Sarkisian, the head coach, had to say. Quote, we're probably going to need both those guys at some point this season, end quote. Donnie, is it just coach speak, or what did you make of Sark's words yesterday?
It sounds like coach speak, but let's go back in the annals of major recruits coming to a university, because Arch Manning was one of those can't miss prospects. You get him on your team, all eyes on the prize, national championships and Heisman's here. Take out like Jimmy Clausen. Remember, he's going to Notre Dame, he's going to win like 5 national championships, or Ron Paulus back in the day out of Berwick, Pennsylvania. Those guys, again, had decent careers, but didn't amount. But let's take a look at some of these other guys, though, that enter in the equation. Remember Drew Henson back in the day, I believe was from Michigan with Tom Brady, where I think was Louis Carr the head coach at that point, I want to say, told him,
yes,
I don't even care who else is on my team. You're going to come and you're going to start. And Tom Brady was waiting in the wings. Tom, you're going to get the last chance to start here. Flip it over to Texas itself. Do you remember when Chris Sims was the highest rated quarterback in the country and Major Applewhite was with Texas? They told Chris Sims, who cares what Major Applewhite has done here? We're going to give you every benefit and chance to start, even if the other quarterback is better than you. It's amazing to me in this day and age, because maybe in the past where you go to an institution, it doesn't work out in your favor, you're not going to be a starter, because the goal in college football right now, start as fast as you can, start that clock and get to the pros and get that big contract, particularly as a quarterback. But I find myself saying, well, you can transfer out in a matter of days and go to another institution and get more NIL money. It's kind of interesting that he has stayed there, because clearly, Ben, he's not the better quarterback than Quinn Ewers. Otherwise, he would have started there. All that acumen coming in, you're looking for the benefit of the doubt going in Arch Manning's direction every which way, and he can't sniff the field at all. That's what's interesting to me. Did Texas find out, and also Arch Manning, just through the grapevine, yeah, you know what? I was a really good player in high school. I don't think I'm that good compared to some of these players in college, because he should have transferred out and went to another top 20 institution and started right away. I can't figure out why he's still at Texas at this point, and I guess it just to me means he's not as good as we thought he was.
It is surprising, but maybe it's the commitment to take over Texas when Quinn Ewers leaves, which is going to be this year. There was a thought when Arch Manning committed that Ewers having a brilliant 2023 season would allow Quinn Ewers to be a part of the quarterback draft class last year, making that jump to the National Football League. Quinn Ewers stays. It was a slight surprise toward the tail end of the 2023 campaign. Also surprising that Arch Manning did not enter the transfer portal. Iron sharpens iron. Steve Sarkisian did say these guys are best friends. Again, he's going to say all of those things. It will be Arch Manning's show next year. It still could be at a certain point this year. But if it's because of pure talent, things have gone poorly at Texas. Arch Manning could lead them back, but if Quinn Ewers is shaky, UT will be shaky to start off the season, and that is not by any means the expectation for the Longhorns in year number 1 as an SEC school. 10.5 is the win total for Texas. Second best price to win the SEC at plus 350. To make a second straight trip to the college football playoff, minus 230. One of 4 teams around the nation with a greater than minus 200 price to get to the college football playoff. Ohio State, Georgia, who is the favorite to win the SEC, Oregon, and Texas. They are supposed to be there come heck or high water. So that is going to be the expectation this year in Austin. You saw those SEC title odds. It's Georgia first. It's Texas second in their first year in the SEC.
Now, if you went off the record and sat Sark down, he's probably saying to himself, you got to be kidding me, man. We're in the SEC now, which, again, you have the expanded playoff and easier chance than opportunity to get in. But he just stays in the Big 12, man. Is that big fish there? They are in the playoffs every single year. The amount of money he'd make and the accolades he would get from continually getting in there. So respect the institutions for leveling up. But they didn't just level up because they wanted to. They leveled up because they want that money to pile up there for the Texas Longhorns and the new people coming into the SEC. So I get that here. But I am buying in to what Texas has, because I think Ewers, quite frankly, is a very good quarterback, and that's where it starts. And the expectations are extremely high. Why? Because he has been a good quarterback in the past. If he can just stay healthy all the way through, there's no reason to believe that they can't challenge for the SEC championship first year in there and or make the college football playoff. So I'm buying on Texas. I like what I've seen, and also, as Sark says, this is one of the most deepest teams he's been around, and I believe it. There is talent across talent with a great quarterback. That usually means good results in the regular season.
They lost A.D. Mitchell and Xavier Worthy to the NFL draft last year, and the wide receiver room somehow might be even better. Isaiah Bond transfers from Alabama to Texas. They get Oregon State's Silas Bolden. They are absolutely stacked offensively. Texas needs to be in the college football playoff, or this year will be considered a disappointment. You know what was funny to me, DRS, about Nick Saban picking Texas and Georgia to be his projected SEC title game? He also said moments before that he didn't really understand the hype of why many thought that Texas would be in contention for an SEC title in its first year. And Nick's not necessarily incorrect. Last year, 2023, was the first Big 12 championship for Texas since 2009. The first time they had won double-digit games in a regular season since that same year of 2009 as well. It's not like they were world beaters in the Big 12, winning 5 of the last 7 titles, and now they make the leap with the big boys in the SEC. There is a lot for Texas to prove in year number 1 in the Southeastern Conference. An update from the Open Championship at Royal Troon, with Tiger Woods about to tee off in just about 15 minutes. And Fashion Police, Donnie Rightside, is here next as well.
The WNBA is a unique market, right? It moves a little bit different. You take a bet, a limit play, even if the limit is 2 dimes on a side, you don't go from 11.5 to 12. You know what I mean? You got to go. Because if they bet you the second number, then you go, oh boy, now we have a decision that we really didn't think we got a big decision. Books love decisions.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Watch out for USA and Canada in 4 years. Like cricket's going to be a sport that's growing.
I made my first cricket bet last week or over the weekend. I was getting a team that was leading like 150 to 5 plus odds. I'm like, I'm up 150 points and I'm getting plus odds. Where do I sign? I love this cricket stuff. What are you kidding me?
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
DeMar DeRozan now joins that team in Sacramento with the Kings. De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, Devin Carter, who they drafted early, Keegan Murray as well. A Kings team, DRS, that has been a playoff contender.
Is it going to equate to a championship? Probably not. That's not the goal. Make your team better every offseason. The Kings definitely got better with that move here, Ben.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Just over 10 minutes away from when Eldrick Tiger Woods starts to stalk the course at Royal Troon at the 152nd Open Championship. Tiger teeing off at 9:37 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll look at his odds outlook for the Open here in 2024 in just a moment. But breaking news out of the National Football League. The Jacksonville Jaguars have announced a new retro throwback jersey that looks like what it did when the Jaguars became a franchise in the mid-90s. Let's show it on the screen here, and then we'll get Donnie's reaction. Now, I just have to add, New Jersey Alert. Is that like New Jersey Alert, or is that New Jersey Alert? Like there's an update from the Garden State or that new uniform. You know, a little bit confusing. But DRS, let's get to your take on jerseys because you are so good at doing so. Are you giving a thumbs up, thumbs down? It's okay to the Jacksonville Jaguars throwback that was just announced.
Look, being a male model back in the 1990s, I feel like I have the utmost authority at this point to make some of these decisions on rulings here. Now, hear me out on this. I take things sometimes out of context to benefit my own plans here from when I talk about them. But having said that, I'm a man of the common people, right? You can't fool me all that much. Like, I can see through a lot of things that happen out here that maybe the common man says, you know what, Donnie, I got to listen to his take first. When you give me a throwback uniform, that is supposed to create joy, and oh my goodness, it's about time they went back to that uniform. So I see the Jacksonville Jaguars, and from that tweet there from Adam Schefter, which they're showing right now on the screen, and it says a throwback uniform. Throwback to what? Week 18 last year where they just played? Is that what we're throwing it back to? You can't tell me right now. A throwback uniform from the same uniform they wear over and over and over and over again. Now, when I hear throwback uniform, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kelly Green, it's beautiful. Have you ever seen Tom Brady's Patriot-led team where they get rid of those stupid metallic uniforms and go back to the 1980s? It is sensational. How about the powder blues out there for the Chargers? There are throwback uniforms that we can buy into. Hell, even the Seattle Seahawks this year are going with that glorious 1980s uniform. When they say throwbacks, they believe it. It's a completely different uniform. You can't have a throwback uniform that is identical to the one you just wore, because also, if you put a quad box up that says, here are the last 4 jerseys that the Jacksonville Jaguars have worn, they look identical to each other. So if I am the commissioner of the National Football League, I'm going to put this in writing under the next collective bargaining agreement. If you come out with a throwback jersey that looks identical to your other jersey, you lose your first-round draft pick for the next season and a $5 million fine. Because why? You are scamming your fan base. The fact that this should have been put out on April 1st. The Jaguars are going back to a throwback uniform. Oh, yeah, it's the same one we've always had for the past 30 years. That is embarrassing here, because every comment under from what they put out here is saying the same thing. There's nothing different. It's the same exact uniform. Throwback, throw it out. Get it out of here.
Hey. Oh, that was good. Throwback, ? Throw it out. I think that's a fair punishment when you become commissioner, by the way. If there's a bad throwback uniform that looks almost like a replica of your current-day jersey, lose a first-round draft pick and face a $5 million fine. But you know it is different, right? It does not look exactly the same to their current uniform. The current uniforms are much larger block letters. There's a Jaguar stripe over the shoulder pad. It doesn't look the same. It looks like they're throwback. But DRS, you're getting mad at a Jags organization that really doesn't have that long of a history. 30 years in the National Football League dating back to 1995. Maybe that's really our concern. How can we have a throwback for one of the youngest teams in the NFL outside of the Houston Texans? I like the throwback uniforms. Listen, they're not the creamsicles. They're not the Kelly Greens of the Philadelphia Eagles. They're not the Green Bay Packers old ones or the Bumblebees of the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I think it looks pretty good. I don't have as strong of takes on jerseys or the New Jersey Alert that you do, DRS, so I'll leave that to you.
Yes, and as a wide receiver, sometimes looking good is better than playing good at times at this point. You know I'm the ultimate authority on this. Don't do this to the fan base here. Like, we're starving for sports attention right now. So the Jaguars go, you know what? When there's not much going around right now, let's put out our new throwback uniform that's identical to last year. Hopefully you guys buy. It reminds me of the times like, hey, new uniform next year. Well, what did you change? Oh, from Reebok to Nike. It goes to a swoosh here. Congratulations, buy the new jersey.
Can I ask you just a follow-up question? Would you rather a throwback that looks similar to the current uniform or a terrible throwback like the Century Red of the New York Giants?
Give me the terrible throwback, because at least it's an actual throwback jersey. Like, hey, that's a throwback. Like, yeah, I haven't seen that in a long time here. I saw that Jacksonville jersey in December of 2023.
Let him take it to break. He's too mad. Let him take it to break.
Yeah, I mean, get out. I'm going to get suspended. You keep this live, I'm going to get suspended right now. Cut me off.
The WNBA is a unique market, right? It moves a little bit different. You take a bet, a limit play, even if the limit is 2 dimes on a side, you don't go from 11.5 to 12. You know what I mean? You got to go. Because if they bet you the second number, then you go, oh boy, now we have a decision that we really didn't think we got a big decision. Books love decisions.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Watch out for USA and Canada in 4 years. Like cricket's going to be a sport that's growing.
I made my first cricket bet last week or over the weekend. I was getting a team that was leading like 150 to 5 plus odds. I'm like, I'm up 150 points and I'm getting plus odds. Where do I sign? I love this cricket stuff. What are you kidding me?
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
DeMar DeRozan now joins that team in Sacramento with the Kings. De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, Devin Carter, who they drafted early, Keegan Murray as well. A Kings team, DRS, that has been a playoff contender.
Is it going to equate to a championship? Probably not. That's not the goal. Make your team better every offseason. The Kings definitely got better with that move here, Ben.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
We're talking Jaguars throwbacks as Jacksonville just announced and released the pictures of what their throwback uniform will be on display this year. And little did I know, we had a piece of history live right here in our Manhattan studios for SportsGrid. Look at this bad boy. A silver Jacksonville Jaguars helmet. As our producer, Joe Frieso, just found out, it was the original Jacksonville helmet that they debuted when they incorporated the franchise, but was never worn during an actual game because the logo that you see in front was received pushback from Jaguar, the automobile company. Yeah, take a look at it. Received pushback from the Jaguar Automobile Company, which led to Jacksonville changing their helmet to the black helmet that we see and know. Now, this got to be worth something. Got to be worth something.
How long is that Jaguar? I mean, it basically wraps around the helmet. You can't have a logo that big. My
much.
Goodness.
Yeah. Look, you can see in the back. Look at the back stripe. It's still there. You see the tail.
Yeah. And by the way, Ben, I bet you playing quarterback in high school, that was your face mask, wasn't it? Was that your face mask? That's it.
Brother.
Show the face mask right now, because everybody knows this. When you show up and get off the bus and somebody gets off the bus with that helmet, you know he can't play. You absolutely know he can't play with that face mask.
Get it on.
I always enjoy that stuff. Like when the freshman quarterback shows up with that face mask, you know you're going to blow that football team out. That's the way it used to be.
No doubt. Listen, I got a big dome, so this doesn't exactly fit over my head at the moment,
Man.
but I did try. I will
What an
say,
ego.
Donnie, you kind of just touched a sore spot for me because when we were getting fitted for helmets my junior year, they ran out of the cool 3-bar quarterback face mask, so I had the bigger lineman one for the first couple of weeks before I could trade out. So there you go. You got a little bit of the history of Ben Stevens.
That's pretty good. By the way, this was always my face mask look. Like, see that one? Like, that's how you know. Like, you show up with the air helmet back in the day that didn't protect anything on the inside here. That's how you knew you were.
Yeah.
So, got it out.
That dome's running loose.
Exactly.
It's what led to Donnie's take that Aaron Judge winning a second AL MVP would not be booked as the preseason favorite next year. We'll get to the odds, by the way, for this year in 2024 in just a moment. But, Donnie, I'm looking at it right now. Tiger Woods making his walk to his first tee to start play at the Open Championship here in 2024. He tees off in just 2 minutes' time over at Royal Troon in Scotland.
Do you have eyes on it? Do you have eyes on it right now, like in the studio? Give me a little weather update. Give me a little weather update.
Yeah,
What's it looking like out there?
Not good. The rain has started to come down a little bit. It looks like it's whipping a little bit windier. That's why, Donnie, I think when you looked at some of the round scores for the guys teeing off in the afternoon hours there in Scotland, they were a little bit higher. Like Scotty Scheffler, pre-tournament favorite, plus 450, still remains that short favorite in comparison to even JT that has posted a 3 under 68 in his opening round. 71.5 was the number for Scheffler. That's even par. It's par 71 at Troon. So to go under that would be just even par and not even able to get under par. Yeah, it doesn't look too good right now. The cameras have the rain spots on them. The crowd, the patrons, they're all in their rain gear, and the golfers have the rain gear as well. By the way, Russell Henley, to try to become the leader in the clubhouse alongside JT, just barely missed his birdie putt on the 18th hole. He remains at 2 under. There's a grouping of about 3 or 4 guys at 2 under par, still behind Justin Thomas. Donnie, it's all about relative expectation, right? But what would success be for Tiger Woods at the age of 48 here playing at the Open Championship? Is it making the weekend? Is it finishing top 20? Is it giving us a thrill in the Sunday red, wearing Sunday red in the final round at Troon? What are you hoping for out of Tiger Woods this week at the Open?
Other than him going back to Nike and getting the shrimp off his helmet and his chest right there, playing well for Tiger Woods for me is being competitive in rounds 1 and 2, which means making it to the weekend. But the minute you make it to the weekend, Ben, don't just fade and shoot plus 11 on Saturday for us. A goal for him will be, yes, I want to play the weekend, but I still want to be competent. And that doesn't even mean being a top 20 finish. I just mean like, hey, you know what? Made the weekend, shot +1 on Saturday and a -1 on Sunday. Didn't factor into the championship, but I was competitive all the way through. That would be a massive win for Tiger Woods and me here at the Open.
Just a little bit of juice, right? Just a little bit of juice to see him in the red on Sunday, maybe even a couple of shots back. He birdies his 3rd hole of the day. It's like, maybe could it be? That would be something that would just bring so much excitement to the Open Championship. Tiger about to tee off. He's got the neck scarf around. He's got the sweater on. It's looking like a Scottish summer out there at Royal Troon. Xander Schauffele, by the way, the champion at the PGA Championship at Valhalla back in the month of May. That's when they play the PGA now. A part of the group with Tiger. It's Xander Schauffele, Tiger Woods, and Patrick Cantlay. As of this moment, Xander Schauffele is not teed off, but his pre-tournament price, 3rd best at 11-1. He is now tied for the 2nd best number, although he hasn't done anything with the field around him at 10-1 alongside JT. Both of those golfers $6 back from Scotty Scheffler, who is now even shorter before he is teed off. Scheffler at 10:10 a.m. Eastern time at 4-1. But Xander Schauffele expected to be in contention this week at the Open Championship.
And we always say, and it is true, you can't win the Open Championship on a Thursday, but you can certainly lose it. And a lot of guys are doing that right now. So the question then comes up is, what did we actually get out of Justin Thomas? Was it just lucky where he caught that window and you can play decent golf and the wind wasn't blowing that hard or raining all that bad and the greens were still manageable? Or is he actually dialed in? Because if you can get that case, and let's just say a lot of these golfers like Scotty Scheffler still yet to obviously tee off or make his round, if you're figuring the favorites are going to really struggle, and Justin Thomas is a -3, and a guy who Scheffler you expect to win this is a +2 at the end of the day, that's a 5-shot swing. Now, granted, we've seen Scotty Scheffler come back from 5-shot swings multiple times already this year alone, so he's not technically out of it. But what I mean is, like, how much stake are we putting into Justin Thomas saying, you know what, he's -3? That is an unbelievably good score. And now at the FanDuel Sportsbook, he's at a 10-1 price to win this thing with a great score in day one where we don't know where these scores are going to end up. And quite frankly, they could be bad scores for the rest of the field today.
A really good point. A 68 might not even be fathomable for the guys about to tee off in the afternoon hours with where the weather conditions are at this moment. And JT, despite the struggles the last half decade or so, I mean, he did win the PGA Championship a few years back. He has been a major winner before. By the way, Rory McIlroy, 6 over through 15 right now. Max Homa alongside at 6 over. Bryson DeChambeau, 5 over par through 16 holes. Victor Hovland and Ludwig Oberg, both at 4 under par. So some of those heavy hitters we expected to contend for the Champion Golfer of the Year honor, not necessarily a part of the top of the leaderboard at this moment. We'll have plenty more around the Open Championship into hour number 3. Our guy Charlie Hume will join us. Let's talk some award markets now in Major League Baseball, and we'll continue the conversation on the other side of the break. Aaron Judge, a hefty favorite at -370 to win the American League MVP award. Gunnar Henderson of the Baltimore Orioles, second best price at +310. Let's start with the MVP hardware, DRS. Will Aaron Judge win his second MVP award in the last 3 MLB seasons?
It's hard to say no at this point, barring just a collapse. He's terrible, which, quite frankly, it's hitting weather. This is when guys usually get better. And he's had a fantastic first half of the season. And also, the Yankees aren't out of the playoff race. Quite frankly, I think they're the best team in the American League. And also, somebody still has to catch him as well, whether it be Gunnar Henderson, Juan Soto, Bobby Witt Jr., Rafael Devers. We're not betting on, I think he's going to go on the IL for 3 weeks. You can't do that at this point. A -370 price. I don't know how much value is in there, but right now I'm not saying like, hey, man, you got to take Devers at 80-1. I think he can catch Judge.
Yeah.
He should win the MVP.
34 home runs, the most in Major League Baseball. Aaron Judge is going to win it. Are both of the MVP awards then wrapped up? We'll look at the competitive races and where Shohei Ohtani stands in the National League. Up next, here on the Early Line.
The WNBA is a unique market, right? It moves a little bit different. You take a bet, a limit play, even if the limit is 2 dimes on a side, you don't go from 11.5 to 12. You know what I mean? You got to go. Because if they bet you the second number, then you go, oh boy, now we have a decision that we really didn't think we got a big decision. Books love decisions.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Watch out for USA and Canada in 4 years. Like cricket's going to be a sport that's growing.
I made my first cricket bet last week or over the weekend. I was getting a team that was leading like 150 to 5 plus odds. I'm like, I'm up 150 points and I'm getting plus odds. Where do I sign? I love this cricket stuff. What are you kidding me?
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
DeMar DeRozan now joins that team in Sacramento with the Kings. De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, Devin Carter, who they drafted early, Keegan Murray as well. A Kings team, DRS, that has been a playoff contender.
Is it going to equate to a championship? Probably not. But that's not the goal. Make your team better every offseason. The Kings definitely got better with that move here, Ben.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
The awards races at the All-Star break in Major League Baseball. One final full day of the All-Star break before action resumes with a full slate on a Friday tomorrow. Aaron Judge, well positioned to win his second AL MVP award in the last 3 years, minus 370. We just debated what it would take for Judge not to win that hardware once again. Seems unlikely. But as you go through the other award races with odds available to bet at the FanDuel Sportsbook, Donnie, what's the most compelling one to you?
I guess, like, from an MVP market, like, I do think it's over at this point on both sides, barring injury, and rightfully so. You got two great baseball players, but maybe it's that Cy Young award-winning market in both the National League and the American League, if we just take it in totality. Yeah. Looking at the American League, Schoolboy has been fantastic. Burns has been fantastic. Logan Gilbert is a solid pitcher. I don't think that's going to happen, or quite frankly, anybody below that. But that 1-2 punch right now, you can make a great argument for either one of those guys. And sometimes what you're not supposed to do is give those extracurriculars. And what I talk about is, well, Donnie, Detroit, they're not going to be playing for anything down the stretch. That's not really a high leverage situation. When coming down the stretch, Corbin Burns might be fighting for the best overall record in baseball and or just winning his division. Now, if we're taking a look at the other markets here, Chris Sale, Zach Wheeler, Paul Skeens, this is probably even more intriguing than the American League. Why? Because Paul Skeens is at 5-1 the price. If you can extrapolate and say, I think he's going to pitch exactly the way he did over his first, dozen starts, the remaining parts of the season, he's probably going to wind up being the Cy Young. But also, it really is an award that's built on statistics. Now, wins certainly aren't really the true measure of a pitcher because a lot of things have to happen for him, which means your batters have to give you enough of an advantage for you to pitch well and still come away with victories. So many times you'll see them leave at the end of 5 or 6 innings in a tie game, 1-0, and take a loss, which is ridiculous. But having said that, did you know coming into the second half of the season, Paul Skeens is 60th in Major League Baseball in strikeouts, which it seems like he probably should be number one. But that's not because of him. That's because he didn't get to pitch over the first, few months of the season before coming on strong. Sale plus 125, Zach Wheeler 165, Skeens 5-1. I honestly feel like, Ben, that is a true toss-up between 3 players. That one of those players, talking about Paul Skeens, it's not his athletic ability that will do him in. It's management shutting him down at the end of the season.
89 strikeouts for Paul Skeens so far in only 11 starts. He is averaging better than 8 Ks per outing. 11 in his last one before the All-Star break. He has had 8+ in 6 of the last 7. There are markets you can bet individual things to happen here down the home stretch. Paul Skeens to have 175 strikeouts plus 140. To get to 150, that's juiced at minus 225. Some of that will be where Pittsburgh is. The Pirates have won 4 straight, 6 of their last 7, entering the All-Star break, now back to an even 500. I think Skeens is numbered at a 5-1 price to win the National League Cy Young Award. Donnie, you said this yesterday. If Pittsburgh is in the thick of a wild card race in the National League and Paul Skeens is leading the charge, that number is going to grow drastically shorter. It just is. Whether he will end up winning the NL Cy Young Award, that remains to be seen. The Cy Young race is by far the 2 most compelling, but it's really a 2-pitcher race, not in the National League, where it's probably 3, with Zach Wheeler and Chris Sale. It's a 2-pitcher race in the American League. Tarek Skubal for Detroit and Corbin Burns. It is interesting, Donnie, because individual hardware we often associate with team success, right? One guy leading their team to overall success as an organization. But you can still have success individually as a pitcher if your team struggles, because you're starting once every 5 games on average. You could be winning all of your starts, and then the other 4 days of the week, your team is starting to struggle. That's where, although Corbin Burnes could be the ace of the staff of the team that ends with the best record in the American League, Tarek Skubal, I think, still deserves to be that odds-on minus money favorite at minus 130. 10-1 before the year got underway. Burnes was the favorite at an 8-1 number. I would still bet Skubal in favor of that individual match bet, if you will, against Corbin Burnes.
Yeah, 25, 30, 40, 50 years ago, you're, banking on the Cy Young and say, well, hey, man, he didn't even get to 20 wins this year. He can't be that guy, knowing full well that maybe that guy would have got to 20 wins easily if he was on a good baseball team. I think that was certainly debunked with King Felix out for the Seattle Mariners, who I believe had an under 500 record, but was so filthy dominant, his team just couldn't hit. They didn't hold it against them. So there's a lot more metrics other than wins. And quite frankly, wins are so far down the list at this point. Even when you're voting on the Hall of Fame, hey, we're never going to see a guy win 300 or 200 games ever again. It's not really what the, battle lines are drawn now for pitchers and what makes them great. It's the individual statistics and how they hold up by themselves. So that'll be interesting. And again, but I always like to look at the extras, right? Chris Sale, if he ends up and the Atlanta Braves surpass the Philadelphia Phillies in the race to win their division sometime late in September, maybe he gets an extra bonus. The tough part to be on Skeens, and Skeens might get the bonus. Hey, by the way, Pittsburgh was bad. Skeens showed up. He's been filthy all the way through, and now Pittsburgh is going to make the playoffs. That probably can play into it as well. That is an intriguing, that National League Cy Young, very, very intriguing.
I think it's the best race of any of the odds that we have listed here. National League Rookie of the Year, Paul Skeens, is going to run away with that award. You can already start sketching his name on the trophy at this moment. American League Rookie of the Year, Wyatt Langford, and our guy, Luis, don't call him heel for the New York Yankees, was in minus money, but has started to struggle since the month of May came to a close. Any thoughts, DRS, on any of these other races? Rookie of the Year in the American League, maybe Manager of the Year in the AL? Stephen Vogt right now, first-year skipper for the Cleveland Guardians, and Cleveland's got the best record in the American League.
You take a look at the comeback player of the year market, right? And let's just use the National League quickly here. Chris Sale's involved in that. He has been flat out sensational. Rhys Hoskins is 60-1, not breaking the leg, blowing out the knee last year. So that market is intriguing to me. But I find myself looking at this comeback player of the year, like Garrett Crochet, Jack Flaherty. We're talking about the American League, Logan O'Hoppe, Carlos Correa. That might be a decent one. But by the way, what did Garrett Crochet come back from? Was he a bad pitcher? Did he get hurt? I have no idea what that story even is. So I sort of get a laugh out of that market where he's the decided favorite. Well, I have no idea what he's actually coming back from.
I'm looking at it right now. Would miss the entire 2022 season after undergoing Tommy John surgery. Crochet was the first guy out of the 20. Yeah.
How long do you get to come back?
He made 13 starts last year.
Oh, come on now. Yeah,
pitching in 13 contests. Only 12 2/3. So I get it, actually. That does make sense. All right. Anyway,
we don't need
we'll talk about a historic day in the WNBA and a new record up next.
The WNBA is a unique market, right? It moves a little bit different. You take a bet, a limit play, even if the limit is 2 dimes on a side, you don't go from 11.5 to 12. You know what I mean? You got to go. Because if they bet you the second number, then you go, oh boy, now we have a decision that we really didn't think we got a big decision. Books love decisions.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Watch out for USA and Canada in 4 years. Cricket's going to be a sport that's growing.
I made my first cricket bet last week or over the weekend. I was getting a team that was leading 150 to 5 plus odds. I'm like, I'm up 150 points and I'm getting plus odds. Where do I sign? I love this cricket stuff. What are you kidding me?
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
DeMar DeRozan now joins that team in Sacramento with the Kings. De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, Devin Carter, who they drafted early, Keegan Murray as well. A Kings team, DRS, that has been a playoff contender.
Is it going to equate to a championship? Probably not. But that's not the goal. Make your team better every offseason. The Kings definitely got better with that move here, Ben.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
A historic and record night in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark now holds a new notch in the history books, in the history of the W. 19 assists last night for the Indiana Fever against the Dallas Wings, the most we have ever seen in a single game in the history of the WNBA. Courtney Vandersloot held the old record. She now plays, of course, for the New York Liberty, but back in her days with the Chicago Sky, had 18 dimes against Indiana back during the 2020 campaign. Caitlin Clark, a new record, 19 assists, just 26 games into her WNBA career. However, it was in a losing effort on the road yesterday against the Dallas Wings, one of the worst teams in all of the W. Dallas wins outright as a 4-point home underdog, 101-93. Arike Agumbawale, huge day, leading Dallas in scoring once again. And Donnie, as we were breaking down this game yesterday, only a 3.5-point spread for the Fever on the road, having won 2 straight, entering the basketball game against teams with a winning record in Phoenix and Minnesota. It felt like a fishy line. It came to fruition yesterday on the final day of the WNBA regular season before the All-Star and Olympic break.
It's crazy, too, because if you would have told me before the game we're going to get a 24-19 effort out of Caitlin Clark, that should be an easy win going away. Might even be an easy win going away against some of the better teams in the WNBA, let alone a team that entered into the equation at 5-19. But sometimes the focus might just be on the weekend as opposed to during the weekday game that you had. That's a bad effort. 101-93, awesome for Caitlin Clark. Yeah. Fantastic to go up there and say, you know what, nobody's ever done this before. You love to see those stats pile up, but that's one of those where if you would have asked her, hey, I'd rather have 5 assists than us pick up the victory there. That's a bad loss, which again, every win at that level for the Fever is going to keep them in that playoff race. You're supposed to beat the Wings. That's a loss against the field right there, if we're using golf terms.
Minnesota, a victory yesterday as well. Kayla McBride pours in 30 to lead the Lynx to a win. The Commissioner's Cup champs, who had struggled since that trophy, losing 5 of their last 8 entering yesterday. But the Atlanta Dream on the longest active skid right now in the W, 8 straight games. So let's put this into context, what Caitlin Clark did yesterday in her final game before a much-deserved Olympic break. Yes, you can scream and yell that she should be a part of Team USA, and frankly, you might have a point after her early season struggles in the W, but she has played so much basketball since November that I'm sure she'll enjoy a couple of weeks off here during this break. The only game in the history of the WNBA a player has recorded at least 20 points, 15 assists, and 5 rebounds. Another historic performance for Caitlin Clark. 19 dimes, a single-game record in the history of the WNBA. In DRS, it's her 3rd game of 20 points and 13 assists this season, really coming in the last 2.5 weeks. That's 3 career games for Caitlin Clark in only 26 that she has had at least 20 points and 13 assists. That's the most a single player has had in her career in the history in the WNBA, and she's done it in only 26 games.
Yeah, it's amazing also. So you try to expound on it and say, well, she is in the All-Star game, which is going to bring those ratings. But quite frankly, she probably should have been on the Olympic team as well. And it's not one of those, hey, Bronny James should be in the NBA. His father's LeBron. No, Caitlin Clark certainly earned her way into this as the number 1 overall pick and playing great basketball and would have sent that Olympic team to the next level. Not next level and being like, well, we don't expect them to win gold. They always win that. But just the level of attention, which is the most important thing. Shine that spotlight on women's basketball as much as you can on the biggest stages that you can. That was a really lost opportunity.
So still, we will get to see her on display on Saturday night in Phoenix in the All-Star game, but not in the three-point contest. I don't know how that decision was made. It's Team USA versus Team WNBA All-Stars in that All-Star game on Saturday night. Team USA, a 4.5-point favorite. They're coached by Cheryl Reeve, the head coach of the Minnesota Lynx. Team WNBA All-Stars, coached by Cheryl Miller, one of the most historic women's basketball players of all time. Only a 4.5-point spread, Donnie, for the Americans, who are such a hefty favorite to win the gold medal in Paris. That seems a little bit fishy as well. I think Team WNBA All-Stars going to give the Americans a run for their money.
By the way, why is she not in the three-point contest, though? Is it because the Lynx coach didn't want the distractions at the All-Star game? I mean, why wouldn't she be in that? She's one of the best three-point shooters and longest-distance three-point shooters we've ever seen in the women's game, and she's not in that? It's crazy, man. It really is.
Seems like a miss once again. Hour 3 on the other side of the break here on the Early Line.